welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I'm doing part 3 to the story, I'm getting married in 2 weeks and I'm totally screwed. And guys, those stories about the guy who overheard his wife having a conversation with her sister, and as it all turned out, and you all recall, he found that his fiancée, getting married in 2 weeks, has not only been aware that her sister was cheating on her husband, but also helping her. And he realized, I can't marry someone like this. And it was darn well that eventually, if she's unhappy, her needs are being met, she'll cheat on him too, and probably have her sister cover her tracks. And this shows what kind of person she is. And he's realizing the hell he has to go through to end this engagement and wedding 2 weeks before the wedding. And as you all recall in part 1 and 2, he let his brother know about this, and he let the husband of the cheating soon-to-be sister-in-law know about this, and they caught evidence of this, pictures and all that with that girl out with that guy. And then his brother-in-law, or not brother-in-law, but husband of the sister, the girl he's marrying, this sounds confusing as hell, got evidence of all this and followed home was handling it accordingly. And it ended in part 2, where he's going to now confront his fiancée and say it's over. So I'm going to pick up where things left off. It says here, well, I had the talk with Sarah last night. It was pretty insane. I'm honestly burnt out and still exhausted, even though I took another sick day and slept until almost 11:15 today. Sleep deficit is real. I know everyone is thirsty for updates, but as much as it's therapy for me to write them out, I am also just absolutely drained, and as you may have noticed. I don't know how to be short, just call it a character trait for my profession and the endless amount of minutia-filled reports I've written. I will give the info, and I promise to do a proper update later. So he's going to go into this, and I'll admit, he doesn't give a whole lot of details. However, this dude is worn out, as you can imagine, tired, not sleeping much, and a lot going on in the last 48 hours. But we'll get more details later, so don't worry. Long story short, I came home to talk to Sarah about canceling the wedding and found her comforting Evelyn on the couch. Comforting Evelyn. Evelyn's the fucking cheater here. I almost turned around and walked out, but I did not. Words were exchanged, tears were had. People got really angry, and the cops were called. Dude, you gotta elaborate more than that when the fucking police show up. I collapsed and slept for like 10 hours, and my phone is practically glowing from the heat of unread messages and missed calls. If it vibrates one more time, I'm going to take it to Evelyn's office and charge $10 a minute to sit on top of it. Bro, please tell me you're going to have another update when you're awake and rested, and tell us more about that whole thing. That whole thing could have gone on for 10 goddamn pages. But we'll give him a pass. Stuff is really up in the air. I have a lot to do today. My family already knew what was going on by yesterday afternoon, but I need to contact some friends today and get a move on other things. I'm just going to answer a couple and then bug out for a few hours to get some stuff done. He says, first, I am not James Bond. I am the guy that follows around the disabled construction worker to his Zumba class or skydiving lesson. I've been doing it for 5 years and I'm still pretty good at it. Nothing I did went beyond the $50 GPS that you can buy from Amazon, and a tiny, tiny bit of social engineering. You might be surprised how far social engineering can get you, but whatever. If you recall, his job is to find people that are trying to do insurance fraud. So he's a PI by trade. It says here, second, I'm off the clock on the mysterious case of Marty and the Hobag Hobgoblin. Whatever Marty does with the info he has, including contacting the other's wife, is on him. I'm not injecting myself into the mess any more than I have to. Marty is a good friend, but I have my own little world collapsing right now, and now that I don't have any moral indignation to distract me, it's becoming a bigger burden than I have been letting on. Yeah, no good deed goes unpunished, but he has to also now take care of himself and deal with all this stuff. Third, I am not an aspiring screenwriter or novelist. I do, however, write a lot of reports. You have no idea. Most of my life is actually spent hunched over a laptop writing a report or transcribing statements. For every hour I spend doing field work, I probably spend 10 hours doing paperwork or research. Sounds about right. Fourth, you are right that I was wrong to leave Marty to go it alone. I didn't have any fear, not even an iota, that Marty would do anything stupid, but I didn't properly take into account that risk to him. That's a personal failing of mine. It's not that I don't care. I just tend to estimate that others will handle things properly like I do, and hence. Marty was doing something that I would do, so I didn't question it like I should have. I know this is a problem of mine, and I'm working on it, but I'm not at the best place emotionally, so my EQ is low in the situation. If people were giving you shit in the comment section because he didn't go in with Marty and all that, you know what? This dude did a lot to help this guy out, all right? And his world's collapsing too, so give this guy a pass. It's amazing to me the people on Reddit, how just the comments they make and the shit they say, it's like, come on here. Put yourself in the other person's shoes for a moment. Now, there are times when the person's shoes, they also need a good smacking. But in this one here, give this guy a little slack. Last, people are saying, you don't know the whole situation. What if Marty was an abuser? Yada, yada, yada. Oh, for God's sakes, no. People always want to try to give the girl a pass for her cheating. No, she's an asshole. He says, no, buddy, you don't know the whole situation. I do. I read 6 months of text messages. I know what Evelyn did and what she did. I know how this feels about Marty, or how she feels about Marty. I know how my fiancé played along with this. I'm not just sharing it because it's vile, but I know. But I know it's played a big part in how I acted in the last day and a half. Trust me, if Sarah had done anything other than encouraging and egging on Evelyn, we'd probably not be here. But she did, so we are. He says, anyway, that is it for me at the moment. I will try to update again the next few days with this whole fallout. But I'm probably going to be mostly off Reddit for now. Best of luck to everyone, and thank you to all people backing me up. It meant a lot to me and helped me stay sane. Well, some semblance of sane anyway. So that is very brief. And I know you're disappointed, guys, because you want to hear more. However, I guarantee he's going to be back probably tomorrow or the next day with the real details of what went down. So just be prepared for that. But I also took the time here, as it turns out. This guy responded to a lot of questions that people had. So I'm going to read all these different answers he had to questions he had. Really give you more to what's going on behind the scenes with him, his very soon-to-be ex-fiancée Sarah, and all that and the whole situation. I thought you'd be interested in hearing here. One of the comments he had, he's responding to questions. He says here, I can't think of any explanation that Sarah can give me that is going to make me okay with this. Like if Marty is a complete creep, and I know both of them well to know that he's not, he's the kind of guy who dotes on his wife, then Evelyn could just have come to us for help, no problem. But after what I saw in those text messages exchanged between them, I just can't trust Sarah. The things she said, agreed with, and laughed at in response to some of those most vile, toxic stuff that Evelyn wrote. You still not hate your fiancé yet, dude? He said in the first or second story or post, like, I don't hate her or anything like that, I'm just disappointed. Well, as he digs deep, he finds out how much of a vile person she is. He ought to hate her. Or at least don't hate, but strongly dislike. He says, look, it'd be infinitely easier for me to just try to rationalize this away and go through it with everything compared to the clusterfuck that's about to hit everyone's lives, but I can't do it. I just cannot. I'm sure there will be a discussion with Sarah about this sometime in the near future, but I don't think it's going to provide me with any more clarity than reading her messages did. She's just not the person I thought she was. I don't have a burning desire to inflict emotional trauma on myself by prolonging the situation. I'm just trying to work up the nerve to do what I need to do right now. What he has to do is very hard. Nobody can deny that. I mean, 2 weeks for the wedding, and people are planning to come there. They booked airline tickets, hotel rooms, booking venues. Money's going to be lost. And of course, it'll be twisted around by his soon-to-be ex-better half that he's the big villain in all this. Next up, another comment he says here, no, I'd get an annulment. Like you and I, just like Sarah and I, have different boundaries for what we think is ethical or moral behavior. I wouldn't stay married to a bank robber or someone who cheats old ladies out of their retirement money or someone who harms animals or steals candy from babies. That's on me. That's how I am, and I can't be with Sarah, and I can't see her the same way anymore. I don't trust her. I don't see how I can trust her. You cannot have a relationship without trust, period. And she's demonstrated in secret her true colors. We're definitely going to talk, and by the way, these things I'm reading happened prior to the final, the most recent update about him confronting her and the cops were called and all that. We're definitely going to talk, but as far as the fate of the relationship, it's decided already. I'm not going to go ahead with the marriage to someone that I sort of quasi-detest right now. That seems insane to me. Next response to a question. He says, no, the text messages have made it pretty clear that Evelyn just had the hots for this guy, and the low-key hates her husband for not being much of a man. Her words, not mine. Now, I'll be the first to admit that Marty is not the manliest of men, and I don't even want to get into it because it would sound like a parody. But the fact is that he's a very doting husband and father. Sounds like Marty is your typical nice guy. And you know what? I'm sure he's a good guy that people would like. But when it comes to women, guys that behave like him, they are turned off by. And they see as weak and, sadly, take advantage and cheat on. The thing that really got me was the one exchange between Evelyn and Sarah, where Evelyn basically says something like, I'll just get Marty to babysit while I go out and get some. And he's my and here's my girl on the other side saying, yes, at least he's good for something. That's what this guy's fiancée, Sarah, she's egging him on, egging the sister on. It says, to me, it's like, who the fuck are these people? I'm just totally blown away by it, and I feel like I'm living in some sort of alternate reality. To put this in context, Sarah has told me on more than one occasion that Marty is such a sweet guy and an awesome dad. So, when women say things like, you're such a nice guy, you're such a sweet guy, that really means they're saying, you're such a pussy. I would never sleep with you if you're the last guy on the planet. How does one get from that to at least he's good for something? I can't wrap my head around it. Well, watch my channel long enough, you'll wrap your head around it. Another comment, he says, I actually know everyone here very well. I was in the wedding party when Marty and Evelyn got married. I was waiting outside the living room when their daughter was born. I hosted them for dinners, babysat their child, gone on family vacations with them, the whole shebang. The things I read in those texts, I'm holding them back because, frankly, most of them are just vile. I can't fathom how two people I thought I knew so well, one of them my own fiancé, could write such horrid things and laugh about it. You didn't know her, man. End of story, and you can kick yourself for saying, how couldn't I have seen that sooner? But obviously you were so into her, she no doubt covered her tracks very well. She's a very good actress, as most of them are. And also, like a lot of guys, and I've done this in the past, you see what you want to see, and you hear what you want to hear, and you got the rose-tinted glasses on, and and frankly, I don't understand your lack of morality. It's not about Sarah, if Sarah's lying to me. It's about her demonstrating to me that she's capable of being so two-faced and deceitful and seemingly gleefully assisting in something I find absolutely reprehensible. Like if she went around kicking animals or bilking old people out of their retirement money. I don't have to be a puppy or an old person who lost everything in order to be grossed out and disgusted by her behavior. Most people here think I get this, but I have to admit it has been absolutely eye-opening to see how some people are, etc. Flexible when it comes to what I think is a simple matter of morality. Basically, I would never in a million years act like how she's acted, and I can't respect someone who does. So how the hell am I supposed to get married to her now? Yeah, you can't marry her. And thank the Lord you found this out before you got married. Another one. He says, I think we're on the same page. My worry about Sarah isn't about her cheating on me. It's about the dubious morality on display here through her actions. Dude, I guarantee you one day she will cheat on you if she's not already cheating already or hasn't in the past. I said elsewhere that my expectation on what a good sister would be someone who would have held Evelyn accountable for the actions she was taking against her husband and daughter. I know that my own brother would have never supported me like Sarah has supported Evelyn. Well, nowadays, it's considered to be a badge of honor with these hoe bags. He might not rat me out, but he would definitely not help me and would probably annoyingly tell me to stop it every chance he got. Now that I think about it, he probably would rat me out to our parents, but that's beside the point. It's the culpability of her going along with Evelyn and her even encouraging her bad behavior and with her attitude and responses in those text messages that I read. I can't grok it. It makes me realize that Sarah is quite two-faced and I cannot trust my impression of her because she is very good at hiding the ugly side of her personality. See? Exactly. By and large, the majority of them are very good actresses. I've had women tell me through my life that I'm a good liar. And that's from the guys. You ever a girl tell you that she's a really good liar, or she can be a really good liar when she has to be? That is a giant red flag. If you can, get out. Says here, I can't fathom the people who are insisting that I need to slow down on this and think more about it. It's pretty clear cut to me that I cannot trust her. I find what she did pretty disgusting, and I cannot see moral justification for it in what I know. And I know quite a bit, seeing as I read about 6 months of text messages on my subject. So given that, how the hell am I supposed to marry her? At this point, I'm debating on if we were even still going to be in contact and not from my side. She might be so mad at me that she never talks to me again, or so be it. but the marriage is absolutely off. I can't hold my nose enough to continue going forward. Dude, not only is the marriage off, your relationship with her is off. Do not even think about trying to be friends with her after this. Because this is, when Schill first, he said they had their big fight. The cops were called, because I can only imagine the drama scene that unfolded. And by the way, he obviously ended it with her sister there. There's no way they're going to be friends with, but clearly it'll be drama first. They'll probably be her crying and begging. No, you can't take her back, and you can't be friends with someone like this. And the last thing that he said, because remember, these are all comments that he had here, because I figured you guys would be interested. He said, you have to look at it from my perspective here. She could absolutely sue me because we're not talking about any tiny amount of money here, probably around $25,000 or so. If you add up what you consider her initial deposit, and there would be a cost associated with that. And in the end, I could be ordered to pay her a lump sum judgment. Worst case scenario, this guy has to pay all 25 grand because of all this thing. It's worth it to not marry her, because he'd be paying way more for life, or not life, but for a long time, in alimony and money lost in the purchase of a house and all those other things. So no, that'd be a small price to pay, but I do not think he's going to be paying 25 grand. The problem with this is, the property market sucks right now compared to when we bought it. And I would have to pay Sarah whatever her judgment is out of my $80,000 initial deposit, or equity. I think it's way less riskier and better for me to just try and work out some sort of payment plan with her. Well, technically, her parents, because she was gifted the original deposit from them. She's not going to want a payment plan. She's going to want to be paid right now. I can easily afford to pay her off $1,000 a month for the next 2 years on the house without having to run to my parents for help, and I wouldn't have to lose my shirt by selling. Yeah, but then you'd be sending her a check every month, and in one way or another, you're dealing with her every month. If you could somehow maybe get a loan from your parents or something, or take a personal loan from the bank if you have good credit, something, if he had to do this to finally settle this and move on, better to do that one shot, done, walk away. But I wouldn't pay that $25,000. Give her a settlement. Because I don't know. People are just assuming that I'm spiteful or something over this. I'm not. I'm saddened by it. I don't hate Sarah, nor do I think she's evil. Dude, she's evil. Or a possible future cheater. She is a future cheater if she hasn't done already. Or anything like that. I'm just repulsed by her actions and confronted by the fact that my impression of her was false. And of course, by how great she is at deception. If the wedding wasn't 2 weeks away, I felt like I wasn't getting railroaded into it. I'd probably be taking a totally different approach, but facts are facts. I don't feel secure in getting married to her right now, so I can't go ahead with it. So that was all his comments, or the major ones there, leading up to eventually the big shebang. So I will keep a lookout on any updates here, and I'm sure today's Saturday, and I'm going to publish this tomorrow, Sunday. I'm sure by tomorrow or Monday there'll be more updates, more in-depth details, because I guarantee the comments, people are probably saying, dude, what happened? What made the cops come? And we'll get some very long story out of that. So I'll keep you all posted on that. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.